Okay, so let's talk about removing or swapping motors on an Eclipse. We're going to do this on an Eclipse Pro. The process is the same whether you have a light or a XL. So your motor is right here, one of them, right on the back corner of the table. This is the X motor. This is fixed, okay? And it connects into this parallel belt housing. So there's a belt inside of here. We'll see that in a moment. The X motor is on the table. The Y motor is on the top of the arm, up here on the top of the arm, below the brake. This is the brake, okay? So it connects into a parallel belt housing, just like the X motor does. All right, so in order to swap these, we have to remove this cover, which has 4 button head socket cap screws that take a 2.5mm wrench. So let me get those removed and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So we've got the cover removed. So it's right here. Here's the cover. Now sometimes this is not the serial number for the machine. This is the serial number for the actuator kit. Sometimes there's a paper gasket that's stuck to the back of the cover. Sometimes people have removed them and lost them, but just make sure you know it's there. All right. Just to review, so I've got this Allen wrench set. They have extra long or 3-inch long, 1/4-inch hex, Allen wrenches, torque wrenches, screwdrivers. There's an extension. They fit in a little adapter like this that you can get from Sears. It has the 1/4-inch hex on one side and the 1/4-inch on the other side for your ratchet wrench. These are really handy tools to have. Also on this project, we're going to use a big 3/8 Allen wrench and some wire cutters and some 6-inch zip ties. All right, so back to work. All right, so you can see we got a pulley and we've got a belt in here. You can see about how tight that belt is with me pushing on it. It moves just a little bit. Same thing over here. I can push on the belt and it moves just a little bit. Really tight. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we got to remove all the zip ties that hold the motor cables in place. So there's a couple on this machine here, and then if I move it over slowly, there's a couple zip ties on this machine down here, and we need to be able to unplug these connectors. So the motor has 2 connectors, a 4-position connector and a 12-position, in this case 9-position, sorry. An XL or an LT will not have this. It will only have this. A Pro has feedback, so we have an extra connector. All right, so let's take these zip ties off and then we'll do the next step. Okay, so I've got these wires loose and loose. Now, if you look closely, you can see that these connectors are wired identically. Red, white, black, green. Red, white, black, green. Might have a yellow stripe on it, might not. And then these are wired identically as well. Now, your wiring colors may be different. Don't panic. If you need, you can send me pictures on email and I can confirm everything's okay. But they're wired identically, so we can switch motor to motor. Okay, so now I'm going to take this motor off by taking these screws out. You'll notice that there's a gold washer behind that screw that's serrated. Don't lose those. They're special washers. They're not your average washer, so don't lose those. these take a 3mm hex wrench. You can see the different ones. There you go, a little light on the subject. Okay, and the same thing over here. See, there's the 4 screws in there. Okay, so I'm going to take those 2 motors off and then show you how to put them back on. Be right back. Okay, so we've got this motor out here and we've got the Y motor out here. Now the belt stays in, it just hangs right there. Okay, now you'll notice on the back side of here, maybe let's get in here and see there's a gasket stuck right there. Okay, on this one there's no gasket, it's stuck to the motor, to the top of the motor. So that's okay, they just peel off. You just lift them off carefully and they'll come off. All right, now what I want you to notice is, you see this is the X motor that we took off first, and the wire comes out this side, and on the top plate you can see that these holes are not centered this direction. Okay, that's giving you adjustment for tightening the belt, and you can see there's 2 holes right here. All right, so this guy is X and it's coming out the left side, and these are coming out towards us. This guy is the Y motor, and you can see those 2 holes right there, just like on this one over here. All right, but where's the wire? It's coming out back here. Okay, so the holes are on this face and the wire is coming out 180 degrees opposite. So that means in order to swap motors, we need to take this plate off and we need to turn it so it's in the right direction. So in order to make a Y motor into an X motor, we have to take this plate and turn it 90 degrees clockwise, so that we have holes over here with the wire coming out over there, just like holes are here and the wire coming out over there. I know I'm oversimplifying this and I'm beating this topic to death, but it's very important that you understand what we're doing. So on the X motor, to turn it into a Y motor, we're going to have to take this plate off and turn it 90 degrees counterclockwise in order to turn it into a Y motor. To take it off, there are 4 screws, and that uses a 4mm Allen wrench. So let me do that and then we'll be back. Okay, so now we've changed the plates around. So again, 2 holes, wire 180 degrees for Y. This happens to be, used to be the X motor. 2 holes. When you take these plates off, there's probably a gasket under here, so keep track of that gasket and put it back. All right, again, X motor, 2 holes, wire out of the left side. So now we're going to mount them back in here. So to do this, the motor goes in from the back like this. And if I can do it one-handed, you hook the belt on there and then put your screws in, and then we'll talk about how to tension the belt. Okay, so I'm going to do that so I can use both hands, and then I'll be back. I'm going to do it to both motors. All right. Okay, here I've got the motors mounted back in. The screws are installed, but they are not tightened. I can actually move it around, see? All right, so what we're gonna do for tightening it is we're gonna take a big Allen wrench and we're gonna stick it in. We're gonna stick it in the side like this, and there's gonna be a space back here that's gonna give us a way kind of to use this as a pry bar too. If I pull out on it, you'll see how it tensions the belt. Now you don't want it to be over tight, but you want it to be kind of good and snug, you know. So you know, don't put a cheater bar on the wrench, don't use any big muscles, just pull on it, snug it up. Okay, I'm going to tighten these motors now. The y-axis you might see from the back side. See how I've got the wrench in there, and so I can push down on the motor by lifting up on it. All right, so okay, I'll be back. Okay, so got this motor mounted in there nice and tight. The belt's tight. I can kind of pluck on the belt. It moves a little bit in and out. Same with this one, moves in and out just a little bit. Okay, nice and tight. So now I can put the covers on and I can reconnect the wires and put the zip ties back on. I'll be back. Okay, so I got the covers back on and zip tied the wires back in, plugged them in, made sure red to red, white to white, black to black, green to green. Same thing up here. Also match, like there's red there and red there and black there and black there. So again, this connector varies by the age of the motor and the wiring that's on your machine, and to verify, you know, what's going to where, you know, you can send me pictures. Okay, and then I got zip ties there for this wire. I got the cover there put back on. So now we can carefully slide this back over. By the way, while we're up here, this is the home switch for the X direction. So there's a magnet inside that when the truck moves past, it trips the home sensor on. You can't see it right now because my machine's not on, but anyways, that's how you change the motors around. Put a new motor in or swap motors. That's how it works.